am Dr. Anthony Kroll. Please stand for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Good day, and welcome to the commencement ceremony for Mundelein High School's class of 2020. Today is the day we have chosen to come together and celebrate the transition of our seniors from students to alumni. It is an honor for me to represent the faculty, staff, and school community in this event, to mark this time in the history for our graduates. The global pandemic of this spring has stolen a great deal from the students of the class of 2020. It has been a spring marred by loss and suffering. The school community where we learned, performed, competed, and socialized was taken away from us. We learned that we took for granted the typical school experience and sought connection with our school and with each other. Adversity such as the events of this spring is unavoidable. No one was able to shield you from the fallout of a pandemic, nor will anyone be able to protect you from adversity in your life. Adversity demands perseverance. Adversity can also influence innovation and progress because it demands solutions. A result of adversity should always be collaboration, growth, and equity. As core values of Mundelein High School, collaboration, growth, and equity remain as guiding values to the academic and life lessons learned for this class. MHS asked each of you when you came and arrived at Freshman Orientation Day to embrace these core values. And from your actions this spring, I, for one, am inspired by your leadership. Collecting money, food, and supplies for those in need during the pandemic, and organizing peaceful demonstrations to express your concerns to the community have shown these values are important to you too. This is the first time in MHS history we have not celebrated graduation in person as a full class. We certainly will never forget the spring of 2020. However, the message remains the same. Each of you are and will forever be Mustangs. We wish the best for you as you leave high school and have full confidence that the academic and life lessons learned here will forever remain with you and guide you in your future. Nothing can replace a traditional graduation ceremony where each student's name is read as they walk across the stage. However, after this presentation, MHS will host its only drive-by graduation ever in school history. We look forward to seeing you then. At this time, I would like to introduce Sophia Fiju, Student Leadership School-Wide President.
Thank you, Dr. Kroll, for that introduction. Good afternoon. I'm Sophia Fiju, and I served as the Student Body President this year. As we begin our ceremony today, we would like to start by introducing some special individuals who have supported us throughout our 4 years at Mundelein. I would like to introduce the District 120 Board of Education: Sarah Davalos, Laura Mellon, Thomas Ouimet, Jane Siegel, Lisa Yaffe, Board President Laura Vogt, and finally, District 120 Superintendent Dr. Kevin Myers. In addition, on behalf of the entire class of 2020, I wish to thank the faculty members, staff, and administration for their dedication and support. In particular, I would like to thank all of the teachers and students who were a part of my high school experience. No matter how small our interaction was, I can guarantee that each and every person I have met throughout my time at Mundelein has changed me and guided me on my path for the better, and I am forever grateful for that. I would now like to introduce a special selection from the Master Singers and the Concert Choir.
Oh
At this time, I'd like to invite Class of 2020 Valedictorian Dylan Blake to the podium.
Thank you, Dr. Kroll. On a warm August day, about 4 years ago, a young Dylan Blake walked through the doors of Mundelein High School for his first day of school. Decked out in neon blue basketball shorts, a bright green t-shirt, and worn down running shoes. His voice squeaked as this young beast greeted his friends before class. Along with the other freshmen, he found a spot standing shoulder to shoulder in the commons before class. Believe it or not, there was once a time when we gladly packed 200 plus people into this small space every day. Anyway, as our young hero prepared for his new quest, he made his way to his first class. Wielding a pencil and a TI-84 calculator, this young man was beginning the next chapter of his life. High school was an exciting new experience for all of us, but as the buzz of the new school year faded, we fell into routine. We woke up every day at the same time, to do the same things with the same people. Minutes, hours, and days clicked by, and school became more and more difficult. What classes should I take? How do I balance school and activities? What will Mr. Pope do if I'm late for class? All of these important questions began to regulate our lives as we made our way through high school. Now, everybody always says that high school is all just a game, but no one ever says what game. Well, I think that high school is one long, glorified game of Mario Kart. Hear me out. The race starts when you step through the doors for your first time freshman year. You're nervous, jittery, and jockeying for position amongst your peers. Out of nowhere, the first lap is over. Laps keep clicking by, but you can never really relax. You're on power-ups like a homecoming date or a fresh new ACT score, but you're always working your way towards the finish. Then, all of a sudden, you reach the final lap. Senior year. The music is blaring. You're sweating at this point. You're finishing the last high school sports season, performing last concert. Most importantly, you're figuring out the next chapter of your life. Now, my speech up to this point was written pre-COVID. Unfortunately, I had to make some changes to this next part because of a biological virus that crashed our game. For most of us, we started quarantine on an optimistic note. I, for one, was thrilled to hear that school had been canceled the week before spring break. I put the books away and played some Minecraft with the boys. Everything was good. But as the situation got worse, the future of the school year seemed more and more bleak. A week locked in the house turned into 2 weeks, then a month, then 2 months. The time that I wrote this, I didn't even know if I'd have the opportunity to share the speech that you're listening to now. I also didn't know that we'd experienced many of our high school lasts from a distance. We lost many of the best parts of our senior year, moments that we've been waiting on for years. But most importantly, as we lost the time left in our high school career, many lost the time left in their lives. Now, I promised myself that this speech would stay positive, but it is impossible to ignore the devastation brought upon us by COVID-19. However, with all the sadness, some new opportunities presented themselves as well. For me, I know that I haven't gotten to spend this much time with my family in a long time. Believe it or not, I'm very thankful for this. Quarantine also provided a nice opportunity to check up on old friends, call up Granny, and be a part of a community working together to protect those around them. While we couldn't be there for each other in person, the little things like giving up a few extra dollars or just checking in on friends shows the strength of our community. But with all these little gems to keep us going, I think that the most important gift is the gift of reflection. There are roughly 41,549,986 minutes in the average human life. This sounds like a lot, but since I started talking, I've already stolen 3 of your precious minutes. For a good portion of the first roughly 9,723,600 minutes of my life, my time was spent in a rapid spiral of going from one thing to another. We've spent approximately 300,000 minutes in class at Mundelein High School during these past 4 years. And looking back now, everything seems like a blur. But these last few weeks, time just kind of stopped. Right now, it's sometime between May and July, maybe August. I'm not even sure at this point. But for the first time in a long time, many of us students had more than a few extra minutes to take a breath and reflect. reflect on those precious memories we formed during these last 4 years. Reflect on where we're going in the future. Reflect on the importance of family. Reflect on what's important and what's not. Now, as I sit here in an empty auditorium talking to a camera, I can't help but feel sad. I would have loved to see all my classmates one last time. But in these crazy times, I'm also happy for the gift of reflection. Hopefully, we won't have to face another pandemic. No promises. But as the world slowly returns to a more normal state, please don't forget to take a few minutes here and there to reflect. Time flies, especially when you're having fun. It is very rare that we get the opportunity to appreciate each minute we have. In the words of Ferris Bueller, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. Thank you, Mundelein.
After graduation, each of you will go your separate ways, and of course we wish all of you success in your endeavors. There is one group of students, however, who deserve special recognition at our graduation ceremony. These students committed to serve in the United States military to protect our freedom. We are truly grateful for their courage. Please join me in celebrating these students of the class of 2020. U.S. National Guard, Private First Class Quentin Oxo. Private First Class Caitlin Schneider. Private Isaac Wellman. Private Zoe Palm. United States Air Force, Samara Soto. United States Marine Corps, Diego Lara. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce Adam Sakevich, Class of 2020 Salutatorian.
Thank you, Dr. Kroll. How do you do, fellow quarantines? Full of vim and vigor? It really is a gift to have you all gathered here today in spirit. And that goes for the parents and staff as well. I bet we were all just giddy on December 31st, 2019, as we wore those New Year's glasses that finally had reasonable eye holes in them after a literal decade. Good times, right? Well, no amount of 2020 vision jokes could have prepared us for this year. It's honestly telling that this year featured a presidential election and our graduation, and yet both were overshadowed by escalating tensions with Iran, a global health crisis, and Asian giant hordes being spotted in the States. Man, I wish I was kidding about that last one. While we're on the topic of the 2020 apocalypse extravaganza, I had quite a lot of time to think and reflect on my time in high school, because, let's face it, there wasn't much else to do. Do you remember that intense, almost hollowed feeling when you first entered high school, how large the halls were, and how off-putting that mural right next to the main entrance was? Oddly nostalgic now, considering that's unlikely we'll ever see either again. But that's what we get for living in a universe with linear time. No matter how hard we try to resist or live in the moment, we all invariably march into the future. Graduation just happens to be one of the bigger steps taken in said walk. When I look at you, class of 2020, you know what I see? Nothing, because I'm speaking in front of an empty auditorium. But that's beside the point. The answer you're expecting is potential. Every single one of you, whether you're aware of it or not, is capable of feats that my puny mortal mind could barely fathom. I'm not trying to be cliche, but that's just how it is. We're standing, or indeed have already passed the precipice of adulthood. Many of us, myself included, will be heading off to some place that we only saw on Google Maps for a hot second, or, if we were feeling particularly spicy, saw in person for an hour or two. Some of us will instead decide to move through different mediums, such as joining the military or immediately joining the workforce. But you know what? It doesn't matter where I go, where the person sitting next to you goes, or where any of those scoundrels in your homes went. The only thing that matters is that the reasoning behind your decision is yours and yours alone. Even if it defies the expectations and ambitions of every man, woman, child, and dog around you, make sure that this next step is entirely your own. The last thing you'd want when you're still young are regrets that haunt you for the rest of your life. Even beyond regrets, make sure you lead a life worth living. While I did very much enjoy staying up until 2 a.m. every night, drinking so much iced tea that Arizona probably had legal claim to at least have my body mass, I realized that my enjoyment didn't translate into satisfaction. The memory of entire weeks would turn to hazy recollections of hedonism and terrible posture, while days where I applied myself remained as clear as day. Shocking, I know. Whether it was actually doing e-learning or hanging out with my chums, online because I'm a law-abiding citizen. The only things worth remembering were instances of genuine effort. That's a rather long-winded way of me explaining why college is my next step. If I don't apply myself to something, I'd likely just stagnate away into an uncomfortable mediocrity. I hope each of you, parents, teachers, and staff alike, all learned a little bit about yourself during the quarantine. I don't think I'd have this little apprehension for the future if I hadn't spent a few months in my own head. Let's make sure that at least our hindsight is 20/20 and we grow from all this, yeah? But that's enough about me. You didn't come here for me to preach to you about self-discovery and self-determination. You came here to pick up a shiny piece of paper that proclaims to the world that you're a really cool guy or gal. And to that end, I ask that you tap into a literal Mustang spirit and gallop across the plains of the future like the stallions you are. I'd also like to take this time to what basically amount to shout-out, so sit tight for a second. A shout-out to all the teachers who were unyieldingly kind and considerate during my stay here in Mundelein. I doubt I would have had the GPA to stand up here if it weren't for your passion for your subjects. A shout-out to my parents who somehow managed to cope with my presence for 18 years. I'm in constant awe of the love and patience you invested into me, and I'll do all that I can to make sure it wasn't wasted. A shout-out to my boys and girls. You know who you are. The time you spent together was some of the most fun I've had in my entire life, and I can never thank you guys enough for the honor of calling you my friends. Also, shout-outs to everyone present here today. Life hasn't been easy, and the fact that you're here despite it all is a testament to your drive. And finally, a quick shout-out to one of the most driven, and not to mention handsome, people I know, your valedictorian, Dylan Blake. It was my privilege to speak before you today. Thank you all for your time.
Each year, one senior is selected to speak at graduation. At this time, I'd like to call Stephanie Gutierrez to the podium.
Thank you, Dr. Curl. We sit here today to finish one chapter of our lives. We will leave this place beginning a new one. 4 years ago, we walked into these big hallways, nervous and excited for the first day of school. Some of us raced the halls trying to find our first period classrooms, while others stood in the middle of the commons to gather with a new friend group. 4 years later, we sit here together, one last time, looking back at the amazing journey we've had and looking forward to the start of a new one. Some of us will go off to college, some will go right to work, and some may take a year off to decide what they want to do. But each of us will follow our own separate paths. Now, as we stand here together, let's take a moment to close our eyes and reflect on all the wonderful lessons that have happened over the past few years. Contemplated all the good and the bad that has happened, the lessons you have learned, the ways in which you've grown, and all the accomplishments you've done. Mundelein High School holds a special place in your life because it's the time that you have made that has made an impact on the person you are today. As we prepare to go our own way, I would love to leave you all with 3 valuable lessons I've learned throughout my high school journey. The first one is embrace change. Let's be honest, we have all feared change. But let's not see it as something awful. There's a time in our lives when we've wanted or pretended to be someone else, like join a certain club or a new friend group. But listen, despite the social pressure, it's essential that we are always our true selves, raw, unaltered, and original. You need to become the person you want to be, even if it means you won't fit in with other groups or labels. As I prepare for the next 4 years of high school, I was terrified of the person I'd become. As a quiet young girl, sat in her classes day after day, building up the courage to make new friends, until her best friend wasn't around to attend school assemblies by her side. She needed to get more involved through sports, like basketball and sports, where she learned to truly embrace who she was as a team player, a social butterfly, and a leader. The truth is, when you begin to accept and embrace your true self, you experience unimaginable joy and peace because you are doing what matters to you and what makes you comfortable. Just don't get too comfortable. The second lesson I learned is to stay positive. Despite the obstacles thrown at you in life, never give up. I admit it is so easy to fall. We've all had our moments of weakness, but once you experience hardship, you know you have to find a way out. It's kind of like struggling with math problems. I recall sophomore year me sitting at home one night after school, spending more than an hour finding a solution to the similarities and proof unit. I had no clue what I was doing, as flipping through my notes wasn't enough. All I could hear was my mom inside my head saying, "You can do it. Don't give up." There was no turning back then, because the reminder as to why I was studying came rushing all at once. As the struggles we face in high school, big or small, prepare us to overcome other challenges in life, most of us are constantly afraid of failure when it holds us back from taking risks. But it shouldn't, because accepting failure is to strengthen our motivation to look at the bright side. Finally, be grateful for those around you, for those who have been there for you, your parents, friends, teachers, coaches, or anyone who has stood by your side all this time. Thanks to them, you were brave enough to try out for a sport or take a course you wouldn't imagine taking. Thanks to my second grade best friend who encouraged me to join Puertas, an MHS Latin culture club, where I found a profound appreciation for Latin culture, the opportunity to communicate better, and become a leader as a 2-year president. It's the little actions that people do for us that we don't recognize as much. As you are leaving here today, thank those who have played a huge role in where we are now. Although we are different people with different lives, we've all experienced similar inspirational moments that had happened in high school that will stay with us forever. Graduation has been a dream that felt so surreal, but here we are, ready to graduate and move on. Thank you, class of 2020, for all these amazing experiences.
Thank you, Stephanie. My name is Dr. Kevin Myers, Superintendent of Mundelein High School District 120. We will now proceed with the issuance of diplomas. Usually at this time, I would ask you to please hold your applause until all the names have been called. This is a once-in-a-lifetime moment, and each of our students' families deserve respect for their graduate. Rather, I am asking you to celebrate loudly and proudly. You should be screaming and shouting, letting it all out, honking horns, because you have just graduated after going through the longest senior ditch day in school history. Board of Education, I hereby certify that the students we are about to present have met the graduation requirements prescribed by Mundelein High School District 120 and should therefore be awarded a diploma.
Kelly Abarca Ortega.
I think that's good. I think we got everything we need.
Jesus Abrego. Jace Augusto. Anthony Agrella. Maria Aguilera. Isaiah Aguirre. Damia Ali. Tanner Anderson. Isaac Antunes. Faith Anzalone. Mia Arno. Helaman Origo. Stephanie Asmussen. Jonathan Obe. Brian Avila Bello. Fiza Azhar. Joshua Bach. Alex Badillo Abrego. Josie Bank. Matthew Bareka. Emily Bauman. Grace Bedell. Kavana Belliger. Daniel Beller. Jesus Beltran. Dayanara Benitez. Cynthia Benitez. Elise Burnett. Charles Binns. Dylan Blake. Stephanie Boteo. Sierra Bouchard. Angela Bose. Sydney Bradshaw. Elizabeth Brandt. Belle Brightenreiter. Kylie Brewer. Courtney Brunkow. Kira Buckner. Mia Bomash. Ryan Burns. Daisy Bustos. Damian Caballero. Melissa Calleros. Fernando Camacho. Matthew Campbell. Andy Campos. Fatima Campos. Kendall Campos. Kendra Campos. Peter Cardenas, Grace Carlson, Caitlin Carmody, Vanessa Carrasco, Ashley Carrier, Kylie Carrier, Olivia Cartland, Danny Castaneda, Priscilla Castaneda, Ashley Costano, Mia Castillo, Maximus Castilian, Christopher Castrejón, Damaris Cervantes, Kimberly Cervantes, Rafael Cervantes, Sarah Chambers, Kiara Chang, Emerald Chang, Jocelyn Chaveria, Leslie Chavez, Eliza Chow, Miles Chubin, Lisbeth Cirillo, Aileen Cirillo Gomez, Abraham Cisneros, Julie Clarizio, Jake Coleman, Kevin Conejo, Kelsey Cooper, Jorge Cordova, Cody Cornier, Corinne Corona, Paige Corrigan, Roman Cruz Armenta, Jaime Cuevas, Jared Kuna, Hazel Dabdub, Jose De La Torre, Zanette De La Torre, Dylan DeBoard, Luke DeBoard, Samantha De Dominicus, Nathan D, John Deifel, Aaron DeLara, Freddie Del Real, Jackson Dennis, Christian Diaz, Daniel Diaz, Flavio Diaz, Richard Diaz, Kylia Diaz, Christina Dimarakis, Michael Dodge, Daniel Dominguez, Danielle Dongus, Jack Dorfler, Dennis Dyachenko, Michaela Edquiban, Paige Ekstrom, Rebecca Eloisa, Kelly Escobar, Eric Escobar, Christine Espinosa, Randy Estrada, Andy Estrella, Sophia Fiju, Joshua Fergan, Nikki Figueroa, Harrison Fisher, America Flores, Ashley Flores, Christopher Flores, Victor Flores, David Fecking, Alexis Folks, Megan Ford, Joshua Fordham, Joseph Frayne, Morgan Frank, Madigan Franzen, Grace Friello, Cole Fritz, Matthew Fritz, Kai Gallardo, Ariadne Garcia, Lionel Garcia, Juan Garcia, Luis Garcia, Monica Garcia, Yahaira Garcia, Alexis Garcia Rojas, Meckley Garcia Vega, Parker Geary, Gerardo Gill, Sophia Gilardi, Jessica Gillig, Gabriel Goldman, Abigail Gomez, Denise Gomez, Caitlin Gomez, Maria Gomez, Angelica Gonzalez, Jesus Gonzalez, Alejandro Gonzalez, Andrea Gonzalez, Brian Gonzalez, Alondra Gonzalez Martinez, Jamorian Gordon, Trinity Gordon, Grace Granitz, Darren Gray, Austin Greco, Jacob Green, Tyler Green, Craig Green, Angelina Grossi, Jason Guadarrama, Lucille Gustafson. Caleb Gustafson. Stephanie Gutierrez. Stephanie Gutierrez. Arturo Gutierrez. Omar Guzman. Sebastian Hadsell. Jonathan Hanscom. Dean Hansen. Megan Hansen. Sean Hawk. Samuel Hartman. Ashley Hassan. Kelsey Hassan. Anthony Heelan. Grace Hines. Jeremy Hernandez. Maria Hernandez. Jimena Hernandez. Josue Hernandez. Liana Hernandez. Michelle Hernandez. Osvaldo Hernandez. Ezekiel Herrera. Sophia Hesevic. Alexandra Hevko. Christopher Hill. Samantha Hockett. Dante Heck. Keithan Hoferitza. Colin Hogan. Tim Holland. Brian Horvat. Stephen Hurley. Denise Hurtado. Alonso Hurtado. Cameron Huster. Daniela Ibarra. Brandon Ibarra. Tamara Jahan. Michelle Jaimes. Alyssa James. Robin Jameson. Myra Jaramillo. Vanessa Josso. Jamie Javerkuti. Samuel John. Armando Jimenez. Jahir Jimenez. Janelle Jimenez. Julian Jimenez. Robert Jimenez. Dia Joshi. Manal Junaid. Ryan Young. Denny Jurek. Audrey Kafka. Haley Colgren. Allison Kavanaugh. Michael Keegan. Kendall Klatt. Daniel Koneman. Daniel Kotovich. Alexei Kowalczyk. Caleb Kowalewski. Jacob Kowalewski. Camden Kowalski. Ahmad Koya Oyefua. Faith Krabi. Tyler Kreese. Michael Kukla. Adam Kunath. Claudia Curran. Kaylee LaBarbera. Jessica Lagunas. Jesus Lagunas. Sean Lair. Jasmine Landa. Amanda Langford. Diego Lara. Ian Lau. Adrian Lazar. Derek Lee. Benjamin Lemke. Brian Lencina. Jacob Leong. Olivia Lewis. Brandon Linane. Ashley Lopez. Lisbeth Lopez Garcia. Gerardo Lopez. Alexis Lopez. Elizabeth Lopez. Horacio Lopez. Jennifer Lopez. Luca Lopez. Uriel Lopez. Jaden Lovett. Jonathan Luck. Natalia Lusinski. Cassandra Machado. Cecily McChain. Spencer Madden. Karen Madrigal. Malachi Madrigal. Rafael Maldonado. Luis Malagaya. Silas Maluski. Daniel Marchenko. Pedro Marcos. Isabella Maratti. Jesus Marquez. Nicholas Martin. Alejandra Martinez. Milacia Martinez. Edwin Martinez. Yoselin Martinez. Cassandra Martinez. Marilyn Martinez Pulido. Caitlin Matthews. Esmeralda Matthias. Kira McFarland. Jack McKay. Michael McKay. Miriam Mejia. Emmeline Melgar. Alina Mellon. Efren Mendez. Fernando Mendoza. Jessica Mengis. Leslie Meza. Jade Mirza. Miriam Mitri. Justin Mion. Benjamin Menning. Alexis Montes. Ivan Montiel Santiago. Diego Montoya. Asia Moore. Christopher Mora. Jacqueline Morales. Guadalupe Morales. Charlie Moran. Caitlin Maury. Drake Morton. Jenna Mounts. Sebastian Moyao. Amanda Munch. Paola Munoz. Garrett Munns. Colin Nacion. Alexis Natty. Sydney Natty. Jessica Naden. Haley Negley. Brandon Nazelman. Tommy Nguyen. Samantha Nickel. Rebecca Nielsen. Alexis Neiman. Cindy Nieves. Stephanie Nieves. Irene Nikitas. Zachary Nonsek. Joanna Noriega. Angela Nowak. Nicole Nowicki. Matthew Nutzman. Ander Nuttall. Lucas Nyberg. Nathan O'Connell. Justin O'Connor. Ricardo Ocampo. Quinton Oxo. Emily Olmos. Eric Orozco. Angel Ortega. Josue Osorio. Leslie Osorio. Ricardo Osornio, Willow Ottoman, Kenneth Owens, Jory Ustenguch, Noe Pablo, Valeria Pacheco, Natalie Pacheco, Jonathan Paez, Jade Pagan, Reynaldo Palacios, Zoe Palm, Jennifer Palomo, Rebecca Panos, Sarah Pardoon, Justin Park, Brady Parks, Benjamin Patel, Sahil Patel, Matthew Pawlowski, Lucas Pecora, Osvaldo Pedroza, Yael Peña, Diego Perez, Wendy Perez, Jessica Perez, Jacob Perraud, Jacob Philbrick, Elias Fotopoulos, James Pienta, Michael Pipinis, Andrew Ponce, Anthony Ponce, Lily Port, Andre Portillo, Emily Prefontaine, Nicholas Prochnow, Isaac Quinones, Maximilian Raffelson, Zoe Raffelson, Tyler Ramig, Marcos Ramirez, Axel Ramos, Jacqueline Ramos, Camilla Rangel, Adriana Rawlings, Eder Ribolar Velazquez, Samuel Reisman, Gloria Reyes Garcia, Victor Reyes, Amanda Reyes, Alexis Reyna, Cade Richardson, Thomas Reggio, Tabitha Ristoff, Melanie Roa, Jaden Robinson, Michael Robles, Francisco Rodriguez, Alexa Rodriguez, Ian Rodriguez, Yadira Rodriguez Miranda. Megan Rogers. Jason Rojo. Anahi Roman Delgado. Samantha Romero Jimenez. Maritza Rosales. Oswaldo Rosales. Kylie Rose. Regina Rocio. Bradley Rosbach. Luke Roswick. Anna Salazar. Ivy Salazar. Jonathan Salazar. Leslie Salgado. Lizette Salgado. Jake Salvador. Adziri Samano. Ulisma Sanchez Rivera. Jessica Sanchez Tovar. Deaviance Sanders. Jill Scarborough. Olivia Shawel. Joseph Schuer. Audrey Shiro. Yana Schneckloth. Caitlin Schneider. Claire Schoenfeld. Carter Shore. Andrew Schroeder. Kevin Shuconnect. Adam Siskevich. Nishi Shah. Tegan Sheffer. Angelina Shepard. Brianna Serziga. Scott Sigsworth. Marta Sikora. Isabella Sims. Maya Skowronski. Kaylin Skripek. Alexandra Skutnik. Caleb Smith. Jocelyn Soriano. Isaac Sosa. Samare Soto. Lila Spencer. Hannah Stanley. Caitlin Starozik. Zachary Stedman. Paige Steiner. Daniela Stepanik. Terry Stetsko. George Stevenson. Mackenzie Stewart. Miranda Strokosh. Mackenzie Strong. Michael Such. Samuel Zramiak. Tanisha Tavkar. Dana Teemer, Eva Tejeda, Annette Tenson, Juan Tercero, Anthony Teslenko, Brooke Teston, Dakota Thundercloud, Jesus Torres, Zitlali Tovar, Robert Trapani, Cecilia Trujillo, Adrian Trujillo, Jasmine Unzueta, Luis Uribe, Enrique Valencia, Miguel Valencia, Alyssa Valenciano, Andre Varanik, Angel Vargas, Alex Vasquez, Frank Vecchi, Olivia Vergara, Jason Vetter, Jack Vicari, Edwin Villagrana, Colin Wade, Zoe Wagner, Stephen Weiss, Isaac Wellman, Trevor Werner, Matthew Whalen, Colby Willis, Jordan Willis, Ryan Wilson, Ellen Wood, Nan Wu, Giselle Yanes, Anastasia Yeharova, Paul Yu, Lauren Young, Jessica Zamudio, Richard Zeiger, Andrew Zogby, Noah Zogelman.
I'm Alex Martinez, Senior Class President. First, I want to discuss our decision in regards to the Class of 2020 Senior Class Gift. Initially, we had planned to raise money for a statue that could be placed in the building. However, in light of current events, the Executive Board decided our funds were needed elsewhere. The Mundelein High School Class of 2020 will be donating the money we raised to two important causes. One half of our funds will be donated to the Black Lives Matter Foundation for their work to fight for freedom, liberation, and justice in communities, while creating a better, safer, and more collective future for all Americans, specifically Americans who are Black, Indigenous, and people of color. The other half of our funds will be donated to the NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund's education reform efforts. We want to assist in their goals to fight against oppressive policies and to ensure that students nationwide are able to access a public education that supports anti-racist principles. By helping these nonprofit organizations, I believe we can help make a difference. And remember, all lives cannot matter until Black Lives Matter. As your class president, I am so proud of the class of 2020 for their efforts in organizing food drives, raising money for local causes, supporting our neighbors in these challenging times, and mobilizing people to stand up for change. With my peers from the class of 2020, I am so excited for all the change we will make in the future. Now I am proud to be the first one to congratulate you on your official graduation. Please move your tassel from the right to the left as a symbol of your status as a Mundelein High School graduate. At this time, will all graduates please stand and on the count of 3, throw your caps in celebration. 1, 2, 3.